Hey everyone, welcome back. We're about to take a deep dive today into the world of real estate appraisal with like a really cool twist.
Okay.
We were talking about bringing together, that traditional expertise that we always talk about with cutting edge technology.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me how technology is changing so many fields, and real estate appraisal is no exception.
Exactly.
It's like giving experts a whole new set of tools to analyze data and, make better decisions.
Absolutely. And you know what we're seeing that happen right now with someone we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, cool.
His name is Paul Rayburn.
Okay.
He's a designated appraiser residential.
Okay.
And he's been doing some really interesting things that have gotten him nominated for the 2025 Appraiser of the Year Award.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, he owns a company called Clear Appraisal. And one of the things that I found so fascinating about him is that he's really passionate about tackling appraisal bias and championing something called evidence-based valuation.
I love that he's not just talking about it,
Right.
but he's actually taking action-developing tools
Yeah.
that leverage R programming and shiny apps
Oh, okay,
to create these really insightful geospatial interfaces for analyzing real estate data.
Now, I've heard of R programming. It's like that statistical programming language.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But shiny apps and geospatial interfaces, those are new to me.
Okay.
Can you break those down a little bit?
Sure. So think of shiny apps as interactive web applications that Paul is using to create these powerful visualizations and analytical tools specifically for real estate data.
So instead of just looking at a spreadsheet full of numbers,
Right.
you're seeing like trends patterns.
Exactly.
Yeah, how different factors relate to each other.
Yeah.
All laid out visually.
You got it. And that's where the geospatial part comes in. These interfaces allow you to see how property values relate to their location on a map.
Oh, wow.
So you can see how things like, amenities, school district can impact a property's value.
So it really adds a whole other dimension
Oh.
to what we think of as traditional appraisal methods.
Absolutely. It's like taking a traditional appraisal and giving it superpowers.
It really is. So
Yeah.
what sparked Paul's journey into this tech-driven approach?
Well, from what I understand, Paul is part of a larger network of innovators who are really passionate about using data to get a deeper understanding of assets. And not just in real estate, across various industries.
Wow.
And one really key figure who seems to be a driving force behind this movement is George Dell.
Okay.
He founded a community called Community Asset Analysts.
Community asset analyst. So it sounds like this is like a movement pushing for this more data-driven approach to understanding the world around us.
Exactly. You got it. And it's not just about crunching numbers. They're advocating for transparency, data-driven decision-making, challenging the status quo.
Wow. So Paul's not alone in this.
No.
In his quest to revolutionize real estate appraisal.
Not at all.
He's part of this larger community
Yeah.
that's pushing for some really positive change.
Precisely. And it begs the question, if more appraisers embrace these tools, could we see a significant shift in how we analyze and value properties?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's something I think we need to explore further.
Definitely. I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Imagine, appraisers having these tools where they can move beyond simple comparisons and use data to, actually try to predict property values.
Right. And I think it sounds like Paul and his community are really onto something here.
Yeah.
But let's zoom in a little bit more on those shiny apps that we were talking about.
Okay.
How do they actually work and what kind of insights can they offer?
Sure. So picture this. You're looking at a map of a city, but instead of just streets and buildings, you also see like layers of information.
Okay.
Like average home prices, school ratings, all visualized right there on the map.
Oh, wow.
That's what a geospatial interface does. It lets you see the connections between location and property values in a way that, traditional methods just can't.
So it's not just about, presenting data. It's about uncovering those patterns and relationships that could impact a property's value.
Exactly. And, traditional appraisals often rely on comparing a property to just a handful of similar properties that have recently sold. But these apps can incorporate data from hundreds, even thousands of sales.
Wow.
Along with all those other variables that we're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it's almost like having a supercharged appraisal tool.
Right.
That goes way beyond those basic comparisons.
Exactly.
Uses all of that data to predict property values with maybe greater accuracy.
Yeah.
But is this technology accessible to everyone? Or is it something that you have to be like a data scientist to use?
That's a great question. And, while building these apps does require some technical expertise in our programming,
Right.
the beauty is that once an app is built, it can be made user-friendly
Oh, okay.
for anyone. So imagine like a website
Oh.
where you simply enter an address and you get this detailed report on its estimated value. And the report could even include those interactive maps and charts, breaking down all those factors that we talked about.
Wow, that would empower like buyers, sellers, real estate professionals alike.
Absolutely.
I mean, it brings this whole new level of transparency to the process.
It really does.
But are there any potential downsides to this approach?
I
mean, no technology is perfect, right?
You're right. There are always limitations to consider.
Right.
For example,
Okay.
so if the data is flawed or missing key information, it could affect the accuracy.
Right. Of the results.
That makes total sense. So it's still essential to have that human expertise to interpret the data and, consider any unique aspects of a property that a model might miss.
Exactly.
But overall, it sounds like Paul's work and this movement towards this data-driven analysis has the potential to significantly enhance the real estate industry.
I agree. It's a really powerful combination of human expertise and technological innovation.
Yeah.
And, Paul's story is particularly inspiring because he isn't just adopting existing tools. He's actively developing new ones, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
And he's not doing it alone.
Right.
The community aspect is really important here.
Absolutely. We talked about George Dell and the community asset analysts.
Yeah.
Are there any other key players or initiatives within this community that are worth highlighting?
One of the things that makes this community so interesting is that it's not limited to real estate.
They're applying these principles of data analysis and transparency to all sorts of industries. So for projects related to urban planning, environmental sustainability.
Wow.
Even social justice issues.
It's amazing to see how this commitment to data-driven decision-making can be applied to such a wide range of fields.
Yeah.
I mean, it really speaks to the potential for positive change.
It does.
But what does all this mean for the future of real estate appraisal?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It sure is.
Will we see a widespread adoption of these advanced tools and techniques?
Right here.
Will appraisers evolve into data analysts?
Yeah.
It's fascinating to think about the possibilities.
You got me thinking. Let's shift gears and dive into those very questions about the future of appraisal in just a moment. Okay, so we've been exploring this world of real estate appraisal and talking about how, individuals like Paul Rayburn are using technology to kind of bring greater transparency and accuracy to the process. And it's clear that this isn't just, him working in isolation.
Yeah.
He's part of a bigger movement.
Absolutely. It's really exciting to see how this movement is gaining momentum.
Right.
The community asset analysts led by George Dell are really pushing the boundaries of how we understand and value assets.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the numbers. It's about using that data to make better decisions, increase transparency, and ultimately create a more equitable and efficient system.
Yeah, it's clear that, the work of Paul in this community has this potential to really transform the real estate industry.
Yeah.
But what does this mean for the future of appraisal?
Right.
Will we see a widespread shift towards, these more data-driven tools?
Well, it's hard to say for sure, but the potential is definitely there.
Right.
Imagine, a world where appraisers have access to these sophisticated geospatial interfaces and advanced modeling techniques that allow them to analyze these massive data sets, uncover insights that were, previously hidden.
It would revolutionize the way properties are valued. But would this mean that traditional appraisal expertise would become obsolete?
That's a good question.
Would appraisers be replaced by algorithms?
Not necessarily. I actually think it could elevate the role of the appraiser.
Okay.
Instead of, spending all their time on manual data entry and basic comparisons. They could focus on, interpreting that complex data, providing these nuanced insights, and offering more strategic advice to clients.
So it's not about replacing human expertise. It's about augmenting it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a partnership between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
I like that.
Yeah, and this shift would demand new skills from appraisers. A deeper understanding of data analysis, statistical modeling, and maybe even, some coding skills.
So it sounds like the appraisal profession is evolving.
Yeah.
It's merging with the world of data science.
Absolutely.
It's an exciting time to be in this field.
It is a very exciting time.
And the benefits go beyond just the accuracy and efficiency. By relying more on objective data,
Mm-hmm.
we could potentially minimize, the influence of subjective opinions and unconscious bias.
It's a really important point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a huge step towards creating a fairer and more equitable housing market.
Absolutely.
And it seems like, Paul Rayburn and this community of asset analysts
Mm-hmm.
are really leading the charge toward a future where this data-driven analysis empowers both professionals and individuals.
They're paving the way for a more transparent and insightful approach to understanding the value of assets. And, it's a reminder that innovation often happens at the intersection of different disciplines. Mm-hmm. In this case, real estate technology and data science.
Well, it's been a really insightful deep dive into this world of real estate appraisal.
Yeah, it had.
We've seen how, technology and data are really changing the game.
Yeah.
Empowering professionals and creating all these new possibilities.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, here's a final thought to ponder.
Sure.
Could this data-driven revolution extend beyond real estate?
Yeah.
What other industries could benefit from embracing this idea of evidence-based analysis and, really innovative technology?
It's a great question to think about. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep exploring the world around you.